Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday, and welcome to From Crystal with Love XO. I'm your host, Crystal, and welcome to the YouTube channel. I'm excited today because I am talking about Married at First Sight. This episode was an explosive one. Like, we are getting to the very end of Married at First Sight. Everybody's focused on decision day, and temperatures are it's extremely stressful. Temperatures are up. The couples are really getting down to it. And I just wanted to make sure that I checked in this weekend with my audience and see what you guys are thinking. Who are you guys feeling? Who are you guys hopeful about as we move forward to decision day? So before I get into this, I'm going to let a few more people jump in. If you are here, hey, Pam with the bad hair, make sure that you leave me an XO in the comment. That's our way of communication, so I will know that you are there. And so I'm going to wait a few minutes. I'm going to give you guys one last chance to, of course, get an opportunity to attend the night tour with Fantasia, Maxwell, and Joe. And you guys know this channel is all about love. It's all about relationships. And so what better concert to promote than the night tour with all these R&B singers that really, really sing about love. They sing about real relationships. And so it's an opportunity for you to join. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you have hashtag down in the comments. We're going to announce the winner on tomorrow. I have a great reality check for tomorrow, and we're going to announce the winner of the tickets to see the night tour in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm going to be there. Some friends are going to be there, and so I look forward to gifting a subscriber with tickets to the show. So make sure that you are subscribed so that you can get updates on what's happening on the channel. And then, of course, let me know who you enjoy the most out of Maxwell, Fantasia, and Joe. I have been very candid with you guys about my love for Joe. I'm a huge super fan, but I'm actually a fan of all of these artists. I'm a big Fantasia fan. I'm also a big fan of Maxwell. You know, I think my favorite Maxwell record is This Woman's Work, hands down. Hands down. I know that Tank tried to do a remake of it, and the answer is no Tank. I'm a Tank fan too, but not with This Woman's Work. That's Maxwell. Maxwell bodies that record. It's amazing. My favorite Fantasia song is Lose to Win, which I think is a beautiful sentiment just for life. So let me know if you guys are interested in going. Jacksonville, Florida is not far from Atlanta. It's obviously close in Florida. Hey, Tisha W, thank you so much for joining. And, you know, it's pretty central. So it's a great little weekend getaway. Hear some good music, hang out, and then get back to business as usual next week. I had a great weekend. I had an opportunity to host a love and relationship panel at Curls, Kinks, and Culture. Shouts out to Talia Wajid, who hosts a natural hair conference here in Atlanta. And it's huge. It always has been. And we did a block party. I hosted a beauty and fitness panel and also a panel on love and relationships. And it was very interesting, very interesting. I'll definitely be sharing more about those panels. But one of the things that I remember so much standing out from the beauty and fitness panel, and I wish we had broadcast that live. Trust me, guys, I'm going to be broadcasting any panels I do from now on live because there's so much good information that I want to share with my viewers and listeners. And I really wish you guys had been able to see that panel. But one of the things that I remember the most is one of the personal trainers. We had a personal trainer and like health advocate, also a makeup artist, Barbie Lee, that's absolutely gorgeous. And she gave some tips on being, you know, how to make sure that you take care of yourself. One of her tips for the ladies was for women to get waxed, like a full body waxing. She was like, not waxing, electronic hair removal. She said waxing actually is not good for us. It actually damages the skin. I did not know that. I've been a waxer for a long time. And so she said that we should all look into getting electronic hair removal. So that was interesting. I haven't tried that. I will let you guys know what I think if I do. But I definitely was interested to hear what she had to say. But the biggest point from that panel was that food dictates your mood. You guys know I've been on a health journey. I really had high blood pressure. I had contracted COVID, went to the doctor to make sure that that's what was going on with me. And I did. Earlier this year, I missed the Essence Music Festival because I had COVID, but my blood pressure was really high. And so my doctor put me on medicine, but I know it's like, I don't want to be on blood pressure medicine. So I've been working out every day, trying to get that blood pressure down, trying to get better, in better health as we all are. So hearing that food dictates your mood, not only can food affect your blood pressure and of course your weight, but also your mood. If we're moody or we're feeling anxious, a lot of times it's what we're putting in our mouths. So anyway, not to bug you guys too much with that. I know we're here to talk about Married at First Sight, but I just wanted to give you guys an update on my weekend. I hope your weekend has been amazing as well. Thank you guys so much for those XOs in the comments. Remember, as you join, please make sure you put an XO in the comments so I know that you're there. But let's get into Married at First Sight. This season has been interesting. I will say again, I think last week we talked about the fact that out of all the couples, I feel like Mitch and Kristen and also Lindy and Miguel are making the most progress. And I think Mitch and Kristen continue to be on that path. We did see them have a little bit of a breakdown with Dr. Pia. And, side note, did you guys notice that Married at First Sight tried to sneak in another expert without really introducing her to us? I asked that on Twitter on Wednesday. I was like, so obviously, I think it's Pia. We've seen her sit down with the couples a few times. We haven't seen Dr. Pepper as much. We know that Dr. Viviana announced that she was leaving, but they brought in another expert, but we didn't really get a chance to get to know her. So we see her interacting with the couples, but yeah. What do you guys think of Dr. Pia? I like her. I don't really we're just getting to know her. And it is apparent that Devon Franklin is not going to be on until the following season because we were waiting for a Devon Franklin sighting and that has not happened. But I like her. She gets to it. I definitely think she could have done a little bit more with the Binh and Morgan situation. I kind of was waiting on her to kind of go in a little bit more, and she didn't, at least not from what we saw. But we did see her sit down with Mitch and Kristen, and we saw Kristen kind of have a breakdown with Mitch, basically questioning her hero, right? So she asked them who were their childhood heroes, and Mitch gave a very, my dog, oh my God, every week. And I bet you guys are like, so why do you let her stay in here? She's out of control. She just knocked over some juice. Oh my God. I apologize, guys. My dog always wants to come in here with me. And then when she gets in here, she's like a terror. But in any case, Mitch basically had this really kind of plain example of like superheroes, and no shade, because however you answer a question, there shouldn't be like a right or wrong way. So he mentioned like superheroes growing up and him, watching TV and liking them. And then Kristen actually talks about her mother. Now, I did not realize that Kristen was biracial. Like her mother is Cuban. And she talked about the fact that her mom didn't have much, and she watched her mom kind of pull herself up by her bootstraps, and that her mother was her hero, and that she watches her mother even be successful now, and she's someone that she really looks up to. So Mitch was like, well, did you look up to her when you were little, or is that like how you feel about her now? And Kristen like teared up, and I think she teared up not just because of that situation, but because Mitch is an overthinker. I understand that. I kind of relate to that. He's an overthinker. And so what he does is he picks everything apart. And sometimes when you're picking your partner apart, it actually, they're trying to be vulnerable with you. And then you take that vulnerability and pick it apart. It can feel like an attack. And it was obvious that it felt like an attack. Dr. Pia was able to kind of get in there and figure out what was going on so they could move on. But it still suggests to me that as much as I think Mitch is falling in love with Kristen. Hands down. I think we see it. It's happening. He's difficult. And because she has been so willing to deal with his difficulty, because she's been so willing to put her best foot forward and be positive and treat him with kindness, even when he's been a little bit like nasty with her, like difficult. I would say he's just been difficult, not necessarily nasty, because him saying that he wasn't necessarily attracted to her physically, isn't nasty, but it's definitely hurtful, right? But she's continued to treat him with kindness and to continue to treat him with an open heart. And I think that is slowly making him fall in love with her. And also, what it's doing is it's making her withdraw because she's like, I keep being sweet, I keep being overly accommodating, and this man is not appreciating it. Or maybe he's not worth it. He's not worth my accommodation. He's not worth me, putting all this effort into. I hope not, because I actually am kind of rooting for the two of them. Donna D says, I think Mitch was embarrassed that he didn't mention his mother or father was his hero. That's why he put Kristen's answer down. That could very well be it. I think that, like I said, Mitch is an overthinker. And so he wanted her to interpret the question the way he did. And that's not fair because everybody interprets things differently. And you have to really accept your partner as they are and not try to make them fit the mold of what you want them to be. And I think, Mitch is seeing that, but it may be too little too late. Let me know what you guys think about that couple. I hate to say that I'm actually rooting for them because I think that I always say I think men have to be physically attracted at first, but women can grow to actually, fall in love with someone. This couple may prove us different because what could have been the case is Mitch had so many walls up. It could have been that he was looking for a no. A lot of us are like that. When we've been hurt before, we're looking for a reason not to like the person as opposed to looking for a reason to be happy with the choice. They're always just expecting pessimistic behavior, pessimistic mindset. And I think that kind of is what Mitch is, right? So he could be the outlier in that situation. Like maybe he wasn't super attracted to Kristen initially, but it could have been because he really came in ready to pick apart his partner, ready to pick them apart, ready to figure out why. Interestingly enough, I remember that he said that he was attracted to her mom. Like when her mother walked down the aisle, he was excited because he thought that her mother was the bride. So that's interesting. Also, as we learned, Kristen's mother is Cuban. So I don't know. Mitch is an interesting guy. But yes, I do see the previews for next week. The relationship, actually, according to the previews for next week, everybody's relationship is on the barbecue pit, right? Everybody's relationship is in a hot place as of next week. Like everybody, even Lindy and Miguel, who we saw Miguel actually told Lindy that he loved her, and they've been super happy even after Lindy demanded that Miguel put her on his insurance and all that. They've been able to get through that. They've been moving forward, talking about their past. We saw Lindy take her first body shot, which was cute to me. She had never done anything like that. I love the fact that we see that just because a person comes from one type of background does not necessarily mean that they're not willing to be open, and it's not they're not they can't grow, right? So she was honestly, Lindy's upbringing, I would like to hear more about it just because I'm curious. I mean, they're on TV. We like to know what what took place. She mentioned going away to school and leaving her family at like 14 years old. And there was a lot of dysfunction, even though it was a very, very, very strict conservative religious household. So it's interesting to see that now she's really opening up. She was a little bit hesitant about taking the body shot, but she did it. And she obviously picked up well. I'm sure she'll be doing more of that. Even dancing, she was a little insecure about dancing because she said growing up, she never was allowed to dance. Her family didn't dance. And so I think this is a good example of the fact that just because people are raised a certain way and haven't been exposed to something doesn't mean that they don't want that and that they can't enjoy that. You have to give them a chance. So you have to give people a chance and not be judgmental, right? I think that's what this entire series is about, is like we're always judging people based on how we were raised or what seems normal to us. And a lot of times you just have to open up and allow yourself to get to know somebody, get to understand why they are the way they are, Hey, Tiffany. For all of you guys that are joining, please leave a XO in the comments so that we know you are there. And feel free to chime in. I get on here and it's just me talking to the computer. So I love when you guys give me your opinion back. We're talking about Married at First Sight. We're nearing the third quarter, getting ready to move into the fourth quarter. So it's going to be interesting to see which couples actually are in a good place come decision day. Donna D says, we always see Miguel cooking. Miguel was also the one that took care of the baby. What does Lindy do? I did notice that Miguel did have the baby. Lindy does a lot of laughing and, looking cute, or at least trying to look cute. Miguel is the more responsible one. He seems like the more mature one in many ways, but he also is, falling for Lindy. So I think every couple has to find the dynamic that works for them. And if Miguel likes to cook, he may be able to cook better. Lindy doesn't seem like she's done much, because even though she has her PhD and she works, she doesn't work a lot. She mentioned that she doesn't work a 40-hour week. I think she's just kind of growing into being an adult, it seems, being very sheltered and being a part of this religion that kept her very, very structured, and probably feeling a little bit bound and unable to be herself. I feel like she's coming into her own. So I definitely think Miguel is a lot more stable and a lot more mature in many ways than Lindy. We see a lot of times when she's talking, he's just quiet and kind of listening. But I also think that she makes him laugh, and she kind of, she has a different perspective than him. And he has some issues as well that he dealt with growing up. I never heard that he talked very candidly about growing up, being Puerto Rican and not feeling that he fit in with his Puerto Rican family, and then also not feeling like he fit in the States with people that were not Hispanic. So that's interesting. And I appreciate the fact that he shared that, because a lot of times, if for me, if you're not Black, it's hard for me to understand what your biases would be in this country, because we know as Black people, there are always so many issues. We walk in the room and you're a Black person, you are the most extreme minority, but there are other minorities that deal with issues as well. And Miguel talked really candidly about that. I'm interested to see how Lindy would be able to deal with his culture long term. I think she wants to learn and she wants to know, but I don't know how she would continue on, because she's experiencing a lot of new things, and it's happening really quickly, but it's also happening on television. So it'll be interesting to see if that couple can last the test of time. I'm gonna say, you guys, I think that they're gonna stay together on decision day. I think that I'm a little concerned about, I think that Miguel and Lindy are going to stay together. I don't know if they're going to be together once we come back, right? Because the decision day is just that's just the first hurdle. We got to get back to the reunion afterwards, after 6 months, or, that, and kind of see who's been able to maintain after the cameras are off. So I don't know that, I don't know about Lindy and Miguel after that. I hope so, because I do like them. I'm a little concerned, guys. What do you guys think about Mitch and Kristen? I kind of moved into Lindy and Miguel, but Mitch and Kristen, I definitely feel like Mitch is going to say that he wants to stay with Kristen. I don't know that Kristen is able to deal with Mitch after, long term. And I think that she's really, even though she's a romantic at heart, I also think that she's very level-headed, right? And I actually was surprised about that, because hearing what she went through before with her ex, and now the way she kind of handles the situation with Mitch is actually really, mature. So I think that Mitch is going to choose Kristen. I don't know. We'll have to wait. I need one more show to be able to make a prediction on if Kristen is going to want to stay with Mitch. I'm not sure. I hope so, because I think that they could be one of those Married at First Sight couples that actually is able to work through things and stays the course. A lot of the couples start out rocky. Actually, our girl was there at the after show with Keisha Knight Pulliam. I cannot think of her name, but her and her husband, the redhead, the very fiery redhead, off the chain. I believe she was in New Orleans. Off the chain. She was off the chain. They were always fighting. It was toxic fighting. She was saying that he had Caucasian sex. It was off the chain. They're both Caucasian, but she was like, it's vanilla Caucasian sex and da da da. But Beth, yes, Beth. But they managed to stay together, and they're very cute now. The dog, Sugar Pie, come here. Come here. Sometimes she just needs to see the camera. Come here. Come here. You are causing trouble. Causing trouble. And this is your last show. This is Sugar Pie's last show. You guys, please bid her farewell, because this is the last show that she's gonna be co-hosting with me, because she's out of control. But yeah, Beth, I did not expect Beth and her husband to make it, but they did. They made it, and they seem very grounded now. She seems to have worked out all those wild kinks, because they were fighting like all the time. They were toxic as crap on the show. And I think that Mitch and Kristen actually could get to that point, because I think Mitch needs Kristen, right? He needs a woman to balance him out. Tiffany says, I love Sugar Pie. Sugar Pie is, you guys have no idea. I wish I could show you guys the the studio, how she has cotton everywhere. She just knocked over a soda, some juice, like she's out of control. And she knows how to climb up on stuff to get to it, because I'm not leaving soda or juice down low. It's literally, she climbs up and gets to it. But anyway, I don't know. Mitch and Kristen, I think Mitch needs Kristen. I don't know if Kristen's going to have enough patience. I think if she could stand the test of time, Mitch would be a great husband to her, because I think he is the type of person, I feel like when a person they just are easy to connect with anybody. I'm always wary of those people. Because I feel like it's not really about the person. It's more about just being in a relationship. When a person is standoffish and kind of quirky like that, I feel like they actually love harder, because they are really in it for the right reasons. They're not just trying to go from relationship to relationship. Mitch is definitely unaware, but he may need someone to help him to become aware. And it may not be Kristen. I would like to see them together, but it may Donna D says, do I have a lint brush like Kristen had when she was showing Stasha how to take care? I do, but you know what? She has this on. And then also poodles are like, she's just, even when she's brushed out, she's going to end up looking like this in a little while longer. And she needs a bath. But anyway, yes, she does. She needs a bath and a brush. But she'll end up looking like that by the end of the day afterwards. That's just how she is. Tiffany says, I think Kristen is holding back her true self, and she's going to explode. I agree. And I think that's why that little thing, it would have irritated me as well. But that little piece of Mitch saying, well, did you always look at your mom like that? I agree. It probably was because he wasn't looking at the question like that, but she just was like going crazy dealing with Mitch, so we'll see. We'll see if that works out. But there are much bigger fish to fry tonight, guys. We got to get down. Let's get Sasha and Nate out the way so that we can get to the two problematic couples. So Sasha and Nate had a very freaky episode. Nate was super into that swing. Sasha, actually, if you guys watched the after show with Keisha Napoleon, I was surprised to see Sasha actually I think she matches Nate's freak energy, which is great. I think you need to be on the same, being equally yoked is more than just like, religion and how you feel. It's really about your lifestyle. So I was really happy to see that they're on the same page as far as their freak level. They did look like they would have fun. I think they're both very attracted to each other. So I'm really happy, because I was a little concerned because of how uptight Sasha can come off sometime, if she was going to be able to connect with Nate, because we know Nate has basically been regarded as like the freak of the show, even with the guys earlier. We saw at the bachelorette parties, the bachelor parties, he definitely was the one that was like, okay, Nate is with the shits. So I'm glad to see Sasha's with the shits as well. That's good for them. I'm still concerned though about Sasha's alpha coming out and her very, very structured way of looking at things. And as we see with the previews for the next upcoming episode, I'm just afraid for them, right? I want them to work, but I just don't know that Sasha is going to be able to do it. I like them as well. I don't know. I don't know. When we see that clip where Nate is just saying, I don't love you, I think Nate pushed it along because he knew that's what Sasha wanted, right? I don't know that he really was ready to jump in with the emotions. But one of the things I really like about Nate is that he's trying. We could tell that he really likes her because he is trying. He is becoming more vulnerable. And I think that's out of character for him as well. Again, when someone is willing to change their character, when they're willing to do things that haven't felt comfortable for them before, for you, you have to appreciate that, right? Donnie said we saw Nate get under the cover. Sasha said he actually put chocolate in her navel and was licking it off. I definitely thought it was something else. I was like, oh my God, okay, that's what we doing here. I definitely didn't think it was her navel. I still don't know if I believe that. I know she said it, but I don't know if I believe it just because anyway, yeah, that's not what it was given. That's not what it was given under the covers. But I mean, they're married and they can do what they want. I like seeing her let go and kind of have fun, right? I like seeing them connect like that. They were super cute this episode. And I like the fact that even at the after show, Sasha was really open about how, they connected. She's very attracted to her husband. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have fun. You're supposed to enjoy, so I'm not mad at that. I want them to work, but I know that Sasha has some deep rooted control issues. And I think that that's going to come up. I also feel like, I don't feel like it's one sided because I feel like Nate, it may be a little too laid back, right? Which may be why the experts put them together, because I feel like Sasha is super, super, super conservative and super, everything is planned out, and life doesn't work that way. Even if you do everything that you can, life is always going to throw you a curveball. But on the other hand, Nate, I feel like, you can't just be, you got to be responsible. You got to be able to, and I'm not saying that he's not. I just think I have a sneaky suspicion that Nate's day trading is not as structured and is not delivering what Sasha would want in a mate, even if she is willing to make some allowances and some stuff like that. So I think that's going to be an issue. I don't know. I'm a little concerned about that clip. I feel like, I hope it was editing, Donna D, but I don't know, because I feel like because Sasha kind of pushed him, and I feel like he wanted to, make her happy. That always, whenever a person does something for you, 9 times out of 10, if they're not comfortable, they're going to resent that. And that's what that clip felt like to me. So I hope that's not the case. I hope they're able to work it out. But I'm the jury's out for me with Sasha and Nate, especially when it comes to decision day. And if they do make decision day, I really would not expect them to. I don't know if I'd expect them to come back 6 months later, because without the cameras and without the experts around, not that the experts have really been doing much. They haven't really been, having many conversations with the couples anyway. But without that, then it's easy to go back to to the regular scheduled programming, right? It's easy to just go back and decide, this isn't going to work for me. It's easy to throw in the towel when there's not that incentive to, meet with the expert and to get your little directives from the experts and to have the cameras following you around. Donna D says, because of Sasha's non-relationship with her dad, it may cause lack of trust when it comes to men, and Nate's non-relationship with his mom may cause issues. That is a good point. You have two extremes that cause issues, right? With children. I think children need to have both the influence of a male and a female. And when one of those presents is gone, it definitely has an after effect on you, especially when it comes to relationships. So Sasha, there's definitely some issues, and I feel like that's part of why she is so controlling, because she felt like when she was younger, she wasn't in control. And Nate also, it's almost like they have the same issue. It just comes out differently because of their personalities. So Nate is kind of laid back, but he also, Sasha just takes life a lot more seriously. So I'm not sure about them too, but I do. Y'all hear that? Sugar Pie has jumped up on the window ledge and fallen. She's fine. But yeah, this is Tiffany. She's not coming back next week. She's going. I'll bring her in for short little introductions, but she's not going to be able to stay in. She's out of control. All right. So Sasha and Nate, what do you guys think? Give me your predictions in the comments. Do you think that they're going to stay together? I'm definitely going to be waiting on Wednesday. I feel like I need to come in. We need to come in and have this conversation, maybe even Wednesday night, because I don't know. This next episode looks like it's going to be very, very heart wrenching, right? For them, even for the other two couples as well. I think Kristen is probably going to explode, and we see everything going down the drain for the next episode. Like I said, even Lindy and Miguel are tripping. She's going off again. Lindy going to scream one more time, one too many times on Miguel, and Miguel's going to be like, "This chick is too much. I'm out." Nate has agreed to go to counseling, and I feel like Nate's been putting his best foot forward. Even his conversation with his father, I love it. I love it. I just don't know if it's enough, because a woman that has control and a man that is has his own issues, it just sometimes can be a recipe for disaster if they don't have intense, help along the way. And when those cameras shut off and everybody goes back to life as normal, I don't know that is going to continue. Sasha has really built an empire, right? She's built all that. And I feel like anything that doesn't go her way, she feels like it's a threat to that. And I'm a little concerned that Nate, being so kind of like lackadaisical, may feel to her like this is a threat to what she has built, and unfamiliar territory, she may totally withdraw. So I want them to sit together too, but I'm going to reserve judgment until I see this next episode. This next episode, we're going to get back together and have a conversation and see what we think about those three couples. But can we get to Binh and Morgan? And then we're going to get to Alexis and Justin, because I got a couple of clips that I want to talk to you guys about. Binh and Morgan. So they have not moved forward at all. At this point, I really just want them to go home. I feel like they need to, there was a couple last season that actually ended their journey early, right? And I feel like Alyssa and it was a train wreck. At this point, I feel like sugar pie. I feel like Binh and Morgan, it needs to end. Binh has he keeps acknowledging all these issues that he has. And we're obviously sure that whenever someone says they have an issue, we have to believe them. However, Morgan also, has issues as well. And she's not owning up to anything. To me, whenever we see her, and this, I'm not in charge of editing. I don't know what editing is like, but we don't see Morgan taking accountability for really anything. This last episode, she did say that she could have created a safe space for him. Binh said he's afraid of her. He also said that her energy reminds him of his father. And his father, he obviously had a very dysfunctional relationship with his father. At that point, when I saw that piece of their episode, I was like, they need to break this up. They need to go their separate ways. The expert tried, it didn't work. I actually had high hopes for them. It didn't work. It did not work. We need to go our separate ways before there's more damage done. Morgan, to me, seems to be enjoying making Binh pay. And Binh is self-loathing. He has a lot of issues. And he's not standing up for himself. He's not even trying to, show her what he feels, because he's afraid. He doesn't want to enter into any conversation with Morgan at this point. You see, he just runs and sugar pie. Really? This is live, okay? Hey, come here. This is live. We can't do that. Binh is, I feel like he went to go get Morgan tissue, but he needed tissue for himself. And he won't cry. We see him working out. He is, by the way, Binh is extremely in shape. Like doing those pull-ups, he's totally ripped up. They would have been super cute together if they had been able to, if it worked. But Morgan's just at this point, like I said, I don't think she's even willing. She's not even willing to listen to the conversation. She just keeps saying that he keeps lying on her. And I want her to explain what the lies were. if he is talking to the other guys about things about her that he has an issue with, all the other men are doing the exact same thing. They're doing the exact same thing. She's doing the exact same thing. Every time she goes to talk to the ladies, she talks about him as well. He just doesn't come back and say that. I'm just like, why don't you say, well, Morgan, you also have been talking, to the ladies about me. Like, come on. Hi, Marriott. Welcome to this conversation on Married at First Sight. We're talking about Binh and Morgan right now. And like I said, I wish at this point, I wish the experts would come in with some situations. I feel like with some of the marriages, they need to acknowledge, and I, again, apologize, guys. Sugar Pie has never acted out quite this badly. Oh my God. Come here. Come here. Come here. Yeah, she's just this unbelievable. She's never acted out this badly, but I wish that the experts with some of the marriages would just come in and say, would you guys like to, would you like to ask for a divorce? Because it becomes super toxic. I feel like they should have done that with Chris and Paige. Obviously, Alyssa and I can't remember the guy's last, I think it was Chris. He ended the marriage. Kudos to him. Ben needs to end the marriage. I think he wants to, but I think he's afraid. I think he's afraid to say anything at this point. He just looks like a timid little kid. And that is not the type of energy that you want from a husband. But Morgan also needs to pipe down. She's doing too much. She's like she's acting like she's acting like he stole money from her, or he he said that he told lies about her to get her, like she's way dramatic with it. It's way too over the top. She's like angry to a level that I can't even understand at this point. And yes, Justin did say they were white lies. Justin should have kept his mouth shut. First of all, Justin had no business going back and telling, if he was going to tell Alexis, he should have asked Alexis not to say anything to Morgan. I don't know if Alexis would actually respect anything Justin says. Probably not. But Justin is part of the problem in this. Because the guys should be able to talk to each other without that going back to the wife. But still, all that being said, Morgan is doing too much. It's team too much. It's just team too much. Ben needs to get out. He said he enrolled in therapy. He looks just distraught. I feel bad for him every time we see him on camera. But I think obviously there's more to Morgan than we are seeing, because you should not be reacting like this. And I don't understand why Dr. Pia didn't say anything to her. Even on Twitter, when I was tweeting, you guys, I tweet live every Wednesday during the show, because I want to make sure that I can tweet and see it and then come in here and talk to you guys about it once everybody has watched. But I tweet, live during it, and everybody was saying the same thing. Like, why aren't the experts holding Morgan accountable? Why not just ask her, like, do you think that you're being fair to him? Yes, you didn't make a safe space, but you're also she enjoys, going at him. Like, you see how happy she was to throw those flowers down in his face. And Ben is just crumbling. Like, it's hard to watch. So I wish that they would just divorce immediately. There's no hope for that couple. And I feel like Morgan wants to be right as opposed to wants to fix things. She wants to prove she's right. She has this really, really passionate anger to be right. And I wish they would just let it go. I don't know if the therapy that Ben is going to is working, but if it is, it's definitely going to take a while, because whatever is going on from Ben's childhood, it's made him extremely timid, extremely passive aggressive, and it's going to take a lot more than just a few sessions. So I think that couple, we just want them to leave each other alone before more damage is done. and hopefully Ben can get help. I think Morgan needs to go to therapy as well. And that's another thing. Like we see that Ben is making the steps to do that. But I really wish that Morgan would also say, hey, you know what? Maybe I need to go to therapy as well. This tough, angry exterior is not going to work for her when it comes to dating. It's actually going to continue to backfire. So I wish that she also would go to therapy. But there really is not much to talk about when it comes to that couple, because there's nothing, like they never even were able to share anything, that any time that would make them want to stay together. Like there's nothing there at all. It basically is it's just a train wreck. And you're right, Donna D. She said she's making it a point to make him miserable. Like she finds some type of pleasure in punishing him, and he also takes it. Like I think someone else would say, you know what, I'm sorry, I was wrong for that. I did not mean to do it that way, but I'm not going to continue to just be your beat up. Like I'm not going to let you keep beating me up over and over again. We're tired of watching him get beat up over and over again. But Ben needs to get some, just grow a pair or stand up for himself. Like it's too much. It's just too much. All right, you guys. Let's talk about Alexis and Justin. I got a couple of clips, little short clips for us to just kind of look at and talk. This couple things went so bad. One of the producers, one of the showrunners or behind the scenes person had to step in to the shot. That has not happened. At least we've not seen that. I'm sure some producers or some of the camera people have stepped in, but we've never seen them on camera. But this is what was happening in the house. The argument was about Alexis wanting to go out with her friends. Every day is so hard. Like, these two have crashed and burned. I'm good on Alexis and Justin. Okay, let's be honest. We wanted it to work a little bit because number one, Justin was so excited about Alexis. Alexis was excited about the fact that Justin was so excited about her, right? But we see when Alexis' sisters, I believe they said that she was spoiled. They definitely mentioned that she is used to getting her own way. This is not working. This is not going to work. This is not going to work. Number one, I feel like she felt sorry for Justin. She was not attracted to him. We know that on Tinder, she swiped past him. Alexis also their roles are a little bit reversed, right? So Justin is very, 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 very extremely sensitive. Okay. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I definitely am saying that in a way that I could not handle that. I think that he's a nice guy, but I think that he needs to heal some more. But in the same token, Alexis needs to understand, for her to suggest that she should be able to go out with her friends to the club every week being married is ridiculous. And then too, guys, what they didn't talk about is all Alexis' friends were guys. You guys remember that? When we got a chance to meet her friends and she talks about her life, she acknowledged that everybody that she hangs out with are men. So that's one of the points that wasn't made in this argument. It's like, you want to go out to the club with your guy friends all the time? That's not realistic to marriage. Like, you've got to prioritize. And especially because there's only 6 weeks, this process is 6 weeks. So in that 6 weeks, if you're really trying, and I bet Alexis wants to get out the house because Justin is probably driving her crazy. That's what she's not saying. Justin is probably driving her absolutely nuts. And I think she wants to get out so she can get a break, right? So she can get a break from him. But he's right. Like, you cannot, if you're trying to be married, you do have to make changes. Also, I don't like the fact that Alexis brought up with Dr. Pia the fact that Justin's dog bit her dog. Yes, his dog bit her dog, but he did not bite her. And that was not his fault. I don't think he knew that his dog, even if his dog had exhibited bad behavior in the past, I don't feel like Justin knew that that was going to happen, because Justin was head over heels for Alexis, head over heels for this opportunity. There's no way that he would have he would have created that situation if he thought that his dog would have done that. And he got rid of his dog. He got rid of his dog, but Alexis is trying to use that as a reason. She's looking for reasons to get out of the marriage, and she just needs to acknowledge that she does not like Justin. She did admit in this conversation with Dr. Pia that she just doesn't know if she's ready. She just doesn't feel like she's ready to be in a marriage with Justin. Um, you know what I mean? Like, the reality is, a lot of times when you're with someone that you're not attracted to, people will look for a reason to want to get out of the relationship. And so what you do is you try to find something wrong with that person because you really just don't like them, but you don't want it to be your fault. You don't want to seem like a mean person. So you're trying to do whatever you can to, well, you did this. Well, you did this. Well, he's lying to me. Justin has not lied to her at all. Justin, his dog bit her. He got rid of his dog, even though we knew he loved his dog. I hope he didn't get rid of the dog too far, because that relationship is not going to work, and he's going to need to go get his dog back. But this relationship is toxic, and I feel like it's toxic on both ends. Yes, he's too sensitive and too emotional to expect to be able to be a leader. And I'm not saying that a man shouldn't be sensitive, but Justin is crying every time we see him, 2 and 3 times per episode. It's a lot. And then Alexis hanging out with guys. I actually agree that maybe she probably it's something else going on. You hang out with all these guy friends. How do you not? What's happening? But the fact that in 6 weeks you have to still go out every week with your friends, even if it is just for a couple of hours, that's weird. And I don't think that's necessarily marriage behavior. So this clip, we see Justin and Alexis, and the producer has had to step in because they're probably tired. They're probably tired of Justin crying. They're probably tired of Alexis deflecting from the fact that she just don't like him, and she's getting irritated. Probably at this point, the sight of Justin's tears is making her want to punch him in the face. That's just Crystal's opinion, but I'm just saying I'm tired of it, and I'm watching it on television.
The fellas today, I made a comment. I said I don't think she's ready for marriage. You know, she interprets that I'm trying to take her away from her friends, when clearly I'm just like, there's certain you shouldn't do when you're married. It's as simple as that. I don't.
So yeah, they have different ideas of marriage. They have very different ideas of what marriage should be. But Alexis, going out every weekend with your guy friends, I don't think any guy is going to be okay with that. In fact, the only reason that Justin is okay with that is because Justin is extremely emotional and probably will let you run all over him to an extent. And then when he says something about it, she goes, they both need help. It's toxic on both sides, right? I'm not pointing a finger at either one. They both just they're not a good fit. It's too sensitive and it's too hard. It's too much. I don't know any man, and you guys can let me know in the chat. My husband is extremely confident. He is fine he's met all my guy friends. He is very supportive and welcoming to them. He has no problem with me hanging out with them. However, if I told him I was going out every weekend with guy friends at a club, I don't think that would fly. Like, you know what I mean? Who would that be okay with? Like, I actually had to tell him, because my husband is an ex-military vet, so he has a lot of military friends. And, I'm not stupid. I'm sure some of those military chicks he probably, has relationships with, that's none of my business. As long as nothing is, as long as nobody's disrespecting me, I don't know what's going on. But some of his guy friends, they would go out, and before we got married, when we were engaged, I had to say, hey, like, I'm not trying to be with someone that's in the club every week. We live in Atlanta. If you need to go to suite every weekend with your friends, you probably don't need to be married. And he was like, okay, I get it. So I don't think that's I don't think that's unreasonable for Justin to say, I'm not cool with that. Alexis is leaving every week because she wants to get away from Justin, because she's not really into him. That's what we need to really acknowledge. Like, if you really are excited about the person you're with, and you guys have 6 weeks before you have to make a decision, you don't want to go out to the club. You're trying to enjoy them. Why don't you guys go out together? She doesn't want to go out with Justin because she wants to get away from Justin, because Justin is crying at the house. I'm sorry. That's horrible, but it's true. Justin is crying at the house. She's tired of she's tired of the tears. And what Alexis has started doing is she started shutting down, because she realizes this is not really what she wants. This is not going to work. But if she says something in that vein, Justin's going to start crying and throw a fit. So it just it's not going to work. And I think if the experts don't kind of step in, this could become even more and more toxic. We just need to get to deliver decision day already, because this is not going to work. It's so hilarious that we heard them say that clip of marriage is so hard when on the honeymoon, when Justin was up Alexis behind and she was like, oh, I've never had this before and it felt good. She was like, I don't see how come people say marriage is hard. I was like, girl, it has been like 4 days. It has been 4 days. And this man you knew you were not attracted to from the jump. And I'm not just talking about physically attracted. She's not attracted to him emotionally. She doesn't respect who he is as a man. He doesn't present himself in a way that Alexis would be able to respect him and see him as a leader at all. At all. So of course Alexis wants to go out with her other friends. She probably has those friends are probably who she's more comfortable with. And this is unfortunately a really bad this is a bad match. This is just a really bad match. I think we all knew that. We all knew that from the beginning. We were hoping, we were rooting for love, but this is not love. And I think I would love to see Justin get some help. Obviously he had a very difficult childhood. I mean, most people had issues in their childhood, but Justin, how he interprets that and how he has interpreted in his life is problematic. I think it could be a bit toxic for a relationship with a woman. So I would love to see him get some counseling and kind of get to a better place. We all knew that when we heard Justin say that women look at him like a piece of meat and they all want to know about his sex. I don't think anybody watching. And if I'm wrong, you can raise your hand in the chat. If the first thing you thought about when you saw Justin was what Justin could do in bed, if you felt like that, please raise your hand in the chat and I will acknowledge I'm wrong. But I don't feel like any women look at Justin like that. I feel like he is tall, but I don't feel like people are looking at him as a piece of meat. I feel like when people get to know him, whatever his sensitivities are, whatever his insecurities are, they are showing on the outside and people are responding to that. But in the same token, Alexis is not innocent in this situation. I do think that she does put on a good show. Even with her mom, I think she's just super dramatic. She's very dramatic. We see when she's talking to the experts and Justin, even Dr. P had to be like, so what? What is the problem? It's like she's trying to create a problem when she just really wants to say, hey, I'm not into him like that. What's up, Scorpio Mo? Earlier we hung out with you. You guys have to watch earlier from Crystal XO, my radio show on Tuesdays. I actually ran it today because we were a little bit late getting that out. We talked about female hip hop and what's going on in female hip hop. And it's a lot of crazy stuff. So make sure you check that out if you did not see it. But we're talking about Married at First Sight. And I'm asking anybody else. Tiffany says, I was like, when I saw him just being honest. I don't think that anybody sees him as a piece of meat. And I think that there are some men that exude sexual energy and they may not look the part, but that comes with confidence. And I don't feel like we see a very confident version of Justin. And I feel like men and women are attracted to confidence. So Justin comes across, even though he said all that stuff, I don't believe he believes it. I believe that's an excuse of why he was celibate. And I don't have a problem with a man saying that they're celibate, but I am a little concerned about one that is, there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues there. I think he wants love. He's looking for love, as everybody is, but he's got some more healing to do. So I just think everybody needs therapy at this point. Morgan needs to go with along to the same therapist that Ben is. Not together, never go together. Please stay away from each other. And at this point, I want Alexis and Justin to stay away from each other as well. Also, Donna D, you bring up a good point. From the previews, Alexis and Justin got it in, and that could be part of the problem as well. A lot of times on Married at First Sight, once the couples are intimate, there's issues, and so that can also be a huge turnoff if things don't go the way you want them to go or the way you would wish they would go with your spouse. And so I'm just going to throw my 2 cents in and say, I'm assuming Justin and Alexis have a different set of probably like proclivities when it comes to sex. I just can't imagine them being compatible, just because Justin is so soft and Alexis is the opposite. And she even said that when it comes to sex, she doesn't have to necessarily be in love or have a lot of feelings. She doesn't have that same type of connection. Justin was like, I want, to be in love and make love. I don't think they don't have that Sasha Nate thing going on, right? That Sasha Nate, we say they were equally yoked. They're on the same page. I don't think Justin and Alexis are on the same page. I would be willing to bet money, large amounts of money, that they would not be sexually compatible. And that's just looking at the body language, how he's not really a take charge guy. And Alexis is almost the type of, that probably needs somebody that is extremely take charge, right? Because I don't know that she would respect what Justin is bringing. I'm not saying that no woman would. I just don't think Alexis is that woman. And I think as the weeks go by, she's getting more and more irritated with Justin, and that's causing her to treat him badly. And it's also causing him to bitch up. So, yeah, that's my prediction. I just want them to leave each other alone. But I feel like Alexis is going to feel guilty for saying no. But that's the thing, like women and men have no problem letting us know if they're not into us. They have no problem with that. Like a man will not put himself in a situation that makes him uncomfortable. Unless he's on some other stuff, if he's trying to use you for money or something like that. But as far as just like being with someone that they're not into, men don't do that. And so women, we shouldn't do it either, not even for a television show. Alexis knew she was not into Justin. And I think, like I said, I think she got caught up in the hype of the honeymoon because he was so into her. And so he just adores her, right? He just adores how she looks and her energy. And I think that can make anybody get thrown off for a little bit because it feels good to have somebody feel, like you like that. But the reality is you need to like them back. And if you don't, you need to let them go. Tiffany says, I heard Stacia had a pregnancy pickup, but it's now taken down. I wouldn't be surprised with them two. I would not be surprised. I really do like Sasha and Nate together. I don't know if they can make it, but I would love for them to. I love the couples that, that have made it. We see that they've been able to overcome some bumps in the road. Now, the only couple that I said that didn't really have bumps in the road was Woody and Amani. Like on New Orleans, they didn't really have bumps in the road like that. Maybe one argument, but they were like this from the beginning, which I thought was so cute. But most couples, it's not an easy road. You're going to go through some ups and downs. But those ups and downs should not be so toxic that you're hurting each other and breaking each other down. And I think when we look at Binh and Morgan, we see people that are breaking each other down. When you look at Alexis and Justin, I feel like you see people breaking each other down, or at least one person is getting broken down for the sake of the other person's ego, or them to feel a certain way. So that's why I just want both of those couples to kind of go their separate ways. We know that Alexis and Justin would not make it in any world. Not going to happen. Binh and Morgan, not in any world. So I agree with you guys. I want to see Sasha and Nate. I'm a little concerned, guys, but I'm definitely team Sasha and Nate. I'm team Lindy and Miguel, and I actually am team Mitch and Kristen, even though they started out very rough, and I don't know if Kristen's gonna be able to make it through, but I actually think that if she can, she'll have a very loyal husband that will definitely look out for her. If she can make it through winning him all the way over to where he can let everything down, he'll probably be extremely loyal. Yes, Brianna and Vincent are pregnant. They have not had the baby yet. They're pregnant, and I thought they were so cute too. They also were pretty much, connected at the beginning. Now, Vincent was a little sensitive, but not in a way like Justin, where it was like he had some insecurities, but they were able to work those through. It wasn't like Justin is that Justin would be like this in any situation. How do I know? Because even how he was with his brother, how he blew up at his brother and went off. There's this. The issue is Justin, but the issue is also Alexis. Like she has issues as well. They're just not going to be able to help each other. I think with the other couples, like I think Lindy and Miguel could potentially help each other. They both have issues. Everybody has issues. I'm not saying that there's these couples are any different than anybody else. All of us have issues, but I think Lindy and Miguel's issues will be able to be best worked out together. I think that Mitch and Kristen could potentially work together. And I even think Sasha and Nate, if they got to that point, could work things out together. The other two couples, I don't think they would be able to work it out. So let me know what you guys think. We're going to be back here. I'm going to try to do this on Wednesday, you guys. Please make sure that you're subscribed so that you're able to get a notification, because I think that it would be great to do this conversation on Wednesday or Thursday when it's a little bit closer to the episode and we're all fresh. But I'm excited. I thank you guys for hanging out with me on a Sunday night. I definitely look forward to announcing the winner of the night tour campaign on tomorrow. So make sure you check in. I'll make sure to post the winner's name, and they will win 2 tickets to the show. The tickets will be at will call, and I hope to meet them as well, because I definitely cannot wait to come to the show. A girlfriend is coming with me, and we're going to have a really good time. So if you have not tried to win those tickets and you still want an opportunity, the actual giveaway is tomorrow. You can still hashtag the night tour. Get your behind to Jacksonville, Florida, to have a great night with Fantasia Maxwell and Joe. And I will see you guys here tomorrow night. I have a reality check conversation with Regina Wesley from Queen Sugar. Let me know if you watch that show. That's one of my favorite shows. That's not a romantic show, but it's a great family show. Ava DuVernay is one of my sheroes. I'm a huge fan. And so this conversation with Regina Wesley, can't wait to share that with you guys tomorrow. So I will see you back here 8 o'clock as always. Yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Have a blessed night and a beautiful week. We're off to a blessed and productive week. See you guys tomorrow at 8. All right. Peace out.